Hey everybody, Erica Serwin here from Pink Buckaroo Designs. I have one more bright Baubles card for you, and it's a shaker card. Can you guys see that in there? I love shaker cards. And when I was coloring this beautiful ornament, I kept thinking, what if we cut that circle out? So that's what we're gonna do. The stamp set and dies are called Bright Baubles. That's what we're using for this. The sentiment comes from Tidings and Trimmings. None of these quite fit exactly where I wanted it, so I pulled one from this. You can, of course, use whichever one you want. All right, let's make our ornament first. We're going to need to do two ornaments. We're going to do one that's just a solid for the background. And then we're going to do, of course, our image. Now, let's see, where's my ink? We're going to color these with Memento Black. So we're going to color these with Stampin' Blends, which means we are going to stamp it with Memento Black. Okay, on basic white cardstock. All right, so we're going to use Pool Party, one of our most famous colors. I think everybody loves a good Pool Party turquoise color. I'm going to work in sections because this is a large image. I'm going to start up here with the light Pool Party. Okay, I'm just going to go over it like this. Then I'm going to add my dark, and I'm going to add some dark here and up that way just a little bit. Whoops, I got out of the lines a little bit. That's all right. All right, and then we're going to color that dark like that. And we're going to go back with our light, and we're going to blend all of that in towards the top so it's lighter at the top. Okay. Now, if you have a color lifter, you can take your color lifter and remove that right off the edge. Okay, now for this section right here, we're going to do light, and we're going to go around these circles very carefully. I'm going to leave the circles white. This Stampin' Blend has two ends. The bullet end and the brush end, which is what I'm using now. Typically, I use the bullet end because I feel like I have better control with the bullet end. But when I have a large area like this to color, I really do like to use the brush end because I feel like you get more coverage with each little brush of your marker. These are alcohol-based markers, so you want to make sure that whatever ink you use is water-based. Okay, so we've got that. Now I'm going to come back with my dark, and I'm going to very carefully go around each circle. Okay, for this one, we're going to actually do that line that goes around it. It kind of has like a, what is the word I'm looking for? Border that goes around it. But these we're going to stay on the outside. Okay, I'm going to outline these guys like that. And then I'm going to color these little dots in. And then we're going to blend it all together up here. So take your light and you want to just brush all that color towards the top and towards the bottom. The great thing about the blends is that they blend together. You won't have a whole lot of marker lines like you might with other markers. Okay. All right, now we're going to come down here, do the same thing. And then we'll be ready to cut it out. There are lots of ways that you could color these. You can use Stampin' Blends like we're doing today. You could also use watercolor. You could watercolor it with a water painter, or you could use our watercolor pencils. You could also color it on, you could stamp it on colored paper. Then you could cut out pieces and glue them together so that they're different colors. That's called paper piecing. So whichever way you like to do that, you can do that. All right, I'm going to leave that little section white. I meant to do it up at the top, but I didn't do it. So we'll do it down at the bottom too. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to take just smoky slate up here and color in this part. It'll be covered mostly with a bow, but we don't want to leave it white. All right, we are ready to do our cutting. We've got several things to do here. We're going to cut these out with that, but we're also going to take the smallest circle die that we have in our layering circles, and we're going to cut that out. I have a piece. This is the Christmas pine cone dies, and we're going to cut that out of basic white as well. So let's bring over, if I can get everything out of the way, our cut and emboss machine. Let's do our ornaments first. Okay, so I think let's do this one like this. Let's see, gonna line it up. Okay, put your plate back on, make sure it doesn't slip. Okay, there we go, look at that. Now I'm gonna take this circle and put that right there in the middle. And I think we can do this one like this. Gotta make sure that circle doesn't slip. Okay, now we've created a window inside our ornament. And we've got a solid ornament. Then we are going to cut out that big bow. It's really large. We're not going to probably use all of it. One thing I have found with this die is that there are a lot of cutting edges here. So you're going to need to apply a lot of pressure, go through a couple of times, and then I like to actually flip it over and cut it again to make sure we get everything cut out. So you can see sometimes here in the middle, it doesn't cut out when you run it through that way. So if you put it in upside down, it will finish and get everything cut out. And then it just kind of falls out. Look at that. All right, so let's pull that out. And I'm not going to use all of it, so I'm not going to worry about getting all of these little doodads out. Let's move this over here. And I'm just going to take some of it, and we'll use that right there, and maybe a little bit of this. I don't know, we may not even need that much. I think I may have just used that much. Okay, now we're gonna get to that in a minute. Let's make our shaker. You can see there's a little bit of white left around that edge where I cut. So I'm just going to take my pool party light and color that so it doesn't looks like maybe my circle was a little bit off. No problem. We'll just color it in. Okay. Now we're going to put a window sheet. That is just a clear acetate sheet that we carry in our catalog. And I'm going to go around with my Stampin' Seal. Okay, and set that right there. Now I'm going to get these adhesive strips, foam adhesive strips. These are perfect for making shakers. And I'm going to go around this to make a window, to make a little place for our shakers. Okay, so cut that off, make sure it's pushed down in there nicely. Now, one thing I added was a silver star right there. It is a stitched silver star. Let's pull off that, from the Give It a Whirl dies. It's a little bit tricky to get it centered in here, so let me show you what I did. I'm going to just set it. Actually, I shouldn't have peeled that backing off. Leave the backing on. Set it in there. I'm going to take some of my dimensionals, or not dimensionals, my sequins. These are the subtle shimmer sequins. And I'm going to kind of put them all around. I didn't really want them to be in front of the heart. So I'm trying to lay the heart down flat. Another thing is probably don't take this adhesive off first either. I do that every time I take the adhesive off too early. All right, now carefully peel that adhesive off right there from your heart. Okay. And let's get it straight. Oh, let's try that again. Get all the sequins off. And you know what? Take your pick tool. Would be perfect for this. Let's set that down. Get it nice and straight. And hold your breath. And now we're going to set this down, matching it up carefully. And press down, and it's going to pick up that heart as well as that those adhesive strips you did. And there it is. Isn't that cute? I love it. All right, we're ready to put our card together now. I have a basic white card base and a strip of the Whimsy and Wonder Designer Series paper, which is so beautiful, the silver part. We're going to put the stitched scallop border. Let's see, let me turn it over that way. Right along the edge. Okay, we're going to cut that off. Make that even. There we go. Let's see. Let's do a little bit better job, Erica. There we go. Now we're going to put, my goodness, we're going to put some adhesive on that and line that right up with the edge of the card. And I think it's a little bit longer than it should be, so let's trim that off. There we go. Now let's get that bough or foliage or whatever you want to call it, a little bit of a Christmas tree, and I'm going to stick that right there. Now I'm going to take my dimensionals and we're going to stick on our beautiful bauble here right there. All right, and I have some Pool Party striped ribbon. Let's see, do I have enough? I believe I have enough to make a bow. Pool Party striped ribbon, so cute. Okay, snip and a mini glue dot. And we will put this guy, if I can get my mini glue dot, right there. And then last but not least, let's bring in our sentiment with some Pool Party ink. And stamp that right there. Cheers from our home to yours. Kind of an over-the-top, beautiful shaker card that I probably would send to my favorite people on my Christmas list. All right, make sure you click the link here on YouTube to go back to my blog. Grab that free PDF and make sure you hop back a day. I have 3 other bright bauble projects as well for you. You know what? All right, make sure you click the link here on YouTube to hop back to my blog. I have all the measurements and the supply list there for you. Also, go back one day on my blog. There'll be a link within the post. You can go back and see the 3 other Bright Baubles projects that I have done. All right, everybody, thanks so much. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.